Serbian rider is going to be called soon. And Juan Rojas heading up towards the conclusion of this lap. You can see the peloton all across the road now. Norway with all their troops coming to the front, and the Norwegian squad with Kristoff and all the rest of his riders. I think we could see a big move starting to happen. Edvald Boasson, Vigard Breen, Sven-Erik Byström, Alexander Kristoff, Vegard Stek-Lengen, Lars Petter Nordic. Kristoff has his training group around about him. And there's the Serbian rider. Give him a wave. Ivan Stevic. He waves. He knows that his time in the Worlds is pretty much over. But very well done to Ivan Stevic today. He gives everyone a bow. He's enjoyed being there in the breakaway group. All smiles from Ivan Stevic. So the group now are heading up towards the line. It was 1:55 last time, and we'll see what the time gap is this time. It's going to be over 2 minutes. Spain, left-hand side. And this time, as we head across the line, it's going to be around about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. 2:15, 7 laps of racing to go. And there is no room anywhere to watch this race now. Tvetkov has a smile at the camera again, shakes his head. Still the 5 riders maintaining their advantage. They're going to be out in the lead for a little while longer. All the team cars going underneath my commentary box window. And the Serbian rider's had a nice time out. He was in the break, he's enjoyed being there, but he said that was very, very hard. Here he is. He quits, he abandons, he's now out of the race as well. But he's had his time. And you have to admire the effort to try and go out and take today's World Championship. Back with the leaders, 5 leaders. Dunn of Ireland, Sargent New Zealand, King of the United States of America, Alzat of Colombia, and Tvetkov of Romania. Thank you for joining me. Do tweet in if you would like to, at Ant McCrossan, and let me know who you think might win this race today. Thanks, Philip, for your message on Twitter today. As we look at these riders now, the Spanish riders dominating the front of the peloton. So are the Polish riders, and also one Brazilian rider up towards the front of the race. Jos van Emden looks around to see where everyone is. He's kind of left them behind a little bit. The gap's starting to grow a teeny bit more. 2:25 now on Radio Tour, the advantage for these riders. Well, I hope you're enjoying today's action. A lot more is going to happen before the end of this race. The Romanian rider kicking on at the front, still the rider from United Healthcare, a member of Rachel Hill's team. She was just in here just now, still looking really cool, spinning those pedals over as though it's still the beginning of the race as Ben King moves up on the outside on his Cannondale bike. I saw Jonathan Vaughters a couple of nights ago. He is here with Doug Ellis as well, and Connor Dunn making his way through too. The Irish team getting some really good riders now. They had the legendary times with Stephen Roach. Holding on to the car is Matteo Trentin, having a conversation. Rides for the Ethics Quick Step team. But looks like he's had... he's just discussing team tactics. That's more than 10 seconds. And on the front now, moving up, Ian Stannard of Great Britain. They're starting to look interested. Alex Dowsett also arriving. I wonder what the team tactics of Great Britain are today. Dowsett making his way through to the front of the race. The former world hour record holder sitting on the wheel of Tony Martin, another magnificent time trialist. But suddenly Great Britain are coming forward in numbers. I wonder what their tactic is going to be. Is it Adam Yates that they're going to ride for? But just talking about Ireland, now they've got Dan Martin, they've got Nicholas Roach, they've got Philip Diagnan, Connor Dunn, Sam Bennett, and many, many other riders. It's very impressive to see. To Libby Hill again, inside final 85 kilometres of today's race. Tom Boonen gives it a little bit of throttle, immediately tracked by Tony Martin. Tom Boonen is looking like he wants to get involved in the action now. So Boonen stretching the tempo a little bit at the front of this race. And Tom Boonen looking animated. Mikko Kwiatkowski, his teammate at Ethics Quick-Step, also there. And suddenly this tempo is starting to go up all the time. And that interesting move of the Dutch squad to try and stretch the race and break it a little bit the last time round looks like it is starting to cause some problems for some riders further on back in the race. And now it's the Belgian squad trying to stretch this tempo a little bit more. Next time round we've got 5 laps of racing to go. Things are hotting up, and so at this point in the race we welcome into the commentary box to join us is a rider, of course, that we all know here in the States, and a very warm welcome to Frankie Andre.
Thanks for having me. Great race so far.
How's it going from your perspective, having seen what's going on out there?
Well, I mean, the early break went, and it's interesting how they just kept it at a short leash. They didn't really let it go out there, and I think partly because the course is so dynamic, and there's so much changing, and I think the fight for position, everybody trying to be to the front, and I think I was very surprised with Holland just riding really from lap 1. I mean, putting out so much effort early on that they put out a big effort. They're going to have I'm not sure how many bullets they're going to have at the end, because it seemed like they used a lot of energy, but not letting the break up the road was a little bit different right now. Belgium, really, you could see the grimace on their face trying to punch it and split it up, but last lap coming through the start-finish line, you see a lot of tired faces, and it's amazing. There's still 83 kilometers to go, and guys are cracking.
It's incredible, isn't it? Everyone said that this course wasn't that hard, but we've added up 46 climbs in any bike race. Is very, very hard indeed, isn't it?
No, extremely hard. And the thing is with this course, there's the 3 climbs. There's Libby, there's 23rd, and there's coming up Governors. And every time you go on up it takes a bit of power. It's like a punchy. So every time you go, it's like, and I compare it to like lifting weights. You know, if you're lifting weights and you're getting to that 10th rep, and then all of a sudden your legs give out, you can't do that 11th rep. This is how this course is shaping up, and this is how it's going to play out, is that you're going to be fine for 10 laps, but all of a sudden when you get to the last 2 laps and you got to try to go up 23rd with the same power and the same watts that you've been doing it, your legs are going to give out, and before you know it, we're going to see a lot of riders actually, the gaps are going to open up, big splits are going to happen. And right now, what's going to be critical is having the numbers. The numbers in that front group in these splits is really going to be critical. Belgium right now trying to set things up and keeping that pace. And that's the thing, too. Once a team senses a little bit of weakness or a split, they're trying to take advantage of it right away. And again, usually you don't see that in a World Championships or in any race until you get sorted down to the end. 82 kilometers to go is a lot of racing left.
Yeah, because normally when we look at World Championships, and you know, you and I have seen lots of World Championships, generally what happens is you see the breakaway go, they get 10 minutes, they chase them down. The last 2 laps is flat out, full motor, everyone's going. But this is a totally different shape of the world, and it's really exciting to see the way Belgium are pressing on. The Dutch have pressed on a little bit, and now a lot of the time actually Kwiatkowski's been near the front. He's sitting third wheel as defending champion right now, and this is more like a classic type bike race, isn't it, where we see every single little climb being used as that springboard to try and split more riders out the back.
Very much like a classic style race. It's a classic designed kind of course. It's a classic style race that's playing out here, and what we see a lot of times is you'll have a lot of leaders in a typical world championships. You'll have a lot of leaders sitting in, all conserving themselves. The way this course is designed and the way it seems to be playing out is that really the morning strategy really said, we are working for you. We are working for you. It's all designed on one rider from each country, and the other riders really are putting themselves in a position where they really do have to sacrifice themselves in order to keep that main contender fresh for the end and in a good position. That's the thing, though. It's not just about being fresh for the end. Really, a lot of it is about position. We've seen a few crashes. You have to be in the front because as you get over the top of these climbs, the front 15 guys, they can all sit up. You can ride really easy. The 30th to 50th position, they're chasing for kilometer after kilometer after kilometer, burning a ton of energy while the front guys are resting.
We've just seen Robert Hessig go on the attack again. Now, we've seen him do this a few times during the race so far. It's like a little bit of a sparring partner duo here going on with Bauke Mollema, he just went to the front, he let Robert Hessig go on the attack, but none of these attacks seem to be sticking, and I wonder what the Dutch plan is. Are they riding for Tom Dumoulin today, who we haven't seen all race? But the Dutch are softening up all the time, but nothing's really happening for them. Do we think Dumoulin is their rider today, or is there another plan?
No, I think they didn't have someone in the first split.
No.
They started riding very early on.
Yeah.
Very surprising at that, because there was a lot of other countries that didn't have somebody in the first split. They didn't let it go way up the road. They could have let this thing take 6-7 minutes, probably would not have been a threat. I mean, half the riders in that break, a ton of credit for making the break, but many of them were come from like racing in America for many years. So, you know, Holland obviously with a plan, trying to soften it, maybe trying to make, maybe they think the race course isn't that hard. They're like, okay, we need to make the race hard, and so they've been attacking like mad, trying to, and riding a hard tempo to make the race as hard as possible. But I think on its own, with 5 laps to go right now, the race is going to be hard enough.
Frankie, look at the average speed now, 45 kilometers an hour. It's getting faster and faster all the time. Riders are dropping out the back. We've got some splits. I've just seen one of the British riders being dropped then. We're at 4 hours, 23 minutes. As a rider, there aren't many races of 260k. We see Milano Sanremo is 300, but apart from that, there are not many riders there are not many races 260k anywhere in the world. So just how demanding is it on a body of an athlete to ride 260k?
It's hard, especially, again, everybody can make 120 miles.
Yeah.
The last 30 miles are completely different and takes a whole different beast, and it takes a world champion to be able to have the strength to be able to get there at the end. Everything starts giving out, and that's what I was talking about, like the comparison of lifting weights. You're going to get into the last 30 miles, and you have to go up. Libby in 23rd, the legs are just going to give out. Riders, they could be feeling very, very well, and they'll be very surprised how they'll catch up with them, and all of a sudden the power is gone. I've seen riders, you know, sitting in the group. Some of them are sitting back, and they're gambling. They don't care what happens in the front. They don't care about the split. They're going to stick with the main group and try to save themselves as rested as possible until they get to those final 2 laps. I saw Peter Sagan looking very comfortable, nowhere near the front. Last time they went through, the split was up the road. He was in the main peloton just riding. He's like, you know, I'm just going to roll the dice and see what happens. And sometimes to be able to win, you have to risk losing in order to win. And I think a lot of the riders in this group, at least the sprinter guys, have that on their mind right now. If it was raining, I think it would have been a better chance actually for the sprinters, because they would have had to go a little bit slower around the whole entire course. But every race we've seen so far has been a fantastic race. And the women, the juniors, it's been super exciting. This is shaping up right now to kind of explode and turn into another fantastic race.
Yeah, I think it is. We've got 3 riders making their way off the front right now. One of them is Zach Kirienka, trying to come across, the Belarusian in the colours. It might be Sweetsop actually, who's just coming across here to these 2 leaders, which means that we are going to see a pretty incredible group at the front. So we've got Pantano at the front. And also in the group is also Guillaume Boivin of Canada. And it is Sweetsoff who's coming across to this leading group, who's a great time trialist who rides for the Team Sky. We saw Kirienka win the individual time trial the other day. So 3 riders now at the front, 79 kilometers to go. Pantano is the Colombian rider in the middle there. At the front is Guillaume Boivin, the Canadian rider, and at the back is Sweetsoff. These 3 riders will try and go clear. Now another attack, and is this Taylor Phinney coming across to the leading group of riders? No, I don't think it is, because Taylor's got some tape on him today, so it's not him, but it is now one of the riders. Is this joining up with him? It is Taylor. It is Taylor. So he's taking a tape off his... Oh no, it's still there on the left leg. I thought it was Taylor, and then I thought it wasn't for a second. So Phinney with 78k to go. Now bear in mind, Frankie, this guy has had 18 months out trying to recover. And you're talking about the fact that, you know, the last 30 miles is going to be difficult. We're inside the last 50 miles. Just how incredible is it that Taylor Phinney can come back like this?
So it was amazing. His first race back at Tour of Utah, he was second on that stage. It's like people training and racing for years, and they can't get first, second, or third in any kind of stage. And a remarkable talent. And so he, I think, delayed coming back in order to make sure that he was at full strength when he came back. And now, looking back, it was the best decision he made, you know, without having to come back too early. But he's been on a remarkable ride, obviously part of BMC Team Time Trial World Championship, gold medal. So everything has been lining up for him. And the distance, if there's something, power is not going to be the problem for Taylor Phinney. The distance will be the problem, because that short time in coming back, he really hasn't had the time to be able to build up, I think, that kind of endurance to be there. But
Vice.com has been...
Now it's starting to grow. 57 seconds is now the advantage for this leading group of 4 riders. Let's just remind us of who they are. If you've just joined us now, Pantano of Colombia, Boivin of Canada, Sweetsoff of Belarus, Taylor Phinney of the United States of America, being chased now down by Gatis Smukalis, the Latvian rider. Stephen Cummings has made his way back into the peloton, a rider who rides at the back of the race all the time. He always tells me, I always say that, but it's true. He sits there constantly. He's just had a mechanical. There are some riders who like to ride at the front and some riders who like to ride at the back.
It can be much less stressful riding at the back.
Okay.
And easier.
Yeah?
And easier, it can be. And it depends on the course. On this course, I'm not so sure riding at the back would be easier, but on other courses, for sure. But big chance that you're not going to be able to move up at a certain time. You're not going to be able to make the attack. You're going to miss a split. Anything can happen in the crashes. So there's a lot of risk with riding at the back. On this type of course, I think it would be harder, plus the dynamics of the splits happening. I think there's too much that can happen out there. But right now, in the first break, what was the maximum they got up to? Maybe 3.5 minutes?
Yeah.
They didn't really give it too much of a leash. This is already up to a minute, starting to move up the road. Who do you think is going to be? I mean, we've seen Holland controlling from lap 1. I don't know how many guys they have left. Is there going to be another team, or do you think it's going to be Holland again if this goes up to like 1.5 minutes? Who's going to panic first?
I think it's got to be the Germans who are going to panic a little bit, and maybe the Polish team did a lot of riding earlier on, so they're not going to have so many riders left. But one team we haven't mentioned an awful lot about, and I've just noticed coming up to the front of the peloton, Elia Viviani and Nibali, Italy, have done no work at all yet.
How about these Toronto Blue Jays Sportsnet Hesk?
We've just heard that Nasser Bouhanni's had a mechanical problem and he's just been paced back into the peloton by 2 teammates. So Nasser Bouhanni is still in with a shout of winning this world title. This gap is growing. 1 minute 15 seconds now is the advantage for the leading trio. Canada with 1 rider at the front there on the left-hand side, quite happy to let this gap go. The American riders also sitting near the front. They're happy for Taylor Phinney to be there. Taylor Phinney igniting this race for the United States of America. They got the bronze medal yesterday with, of course, Megan Garnier, who produced a stunning performance for them to get that bronze medal behind her professional teammate, Lizzie Armistead. Taylor Phinney, a world champion of the team time trial. He won the Dubai Tour in 2014. He was the individual time trial world champion under 23 back in 2010. He's won a stage of the Giro d'Italia in 2012. And one rider trying to go clear here. This rider is Bagdonas of Lithuania, trying to go clear. He wants to try and get up the road if he possibly can and catch the leading trio. The Taylor Phinney also won a stage of the Tour of Poland, a stage of the Eneco Tour. He was fourth in the Olympic Games road race in 2012, only 25 years of age, but certainly a rider who, until he had his crash, was on a massive trajectory, but now, having come back, he's just as good. This is Bagdonas. As he continues with his attack, he rides for AG2R Le Mondial, the French squad, as he is a very strong time trialist. You can just see that with the strength as he keeps the momentum going. We look down on the peloton with the sun on everyone's backs. We expected it to be pouring with rain today. We've not had that at all. 36 miles left to go, 59 kilometres. Who is going to win this world title? Renato Silvestri, I've got no idea who's going to win. 1:15, I don't know. I thought Greg Van Avermaet or Stibar, possibly before the start of today's race. And it's still kind of shaping up that way. We'll wait and see what happens. And I agree with Panda, actually. Panda Sportswear have said the same thing. I totally agree. Pat Fitzgerald's asked about Sam Bennett. He was certainly in the peloton a lot of the time. I'm just going to see whether I can see him in this group right now. The front group of riders. Bennett is still there, I'm pretty sure. I haven't heard on race radio that he has dropped out of the race at all. But certainly things are starting to be a little bit painful out there for some of these riders. This is Bagdonas. And Kaminas Bagdonas is 29 years of age as he time trials away. He won the An Post Ross when he rode for the An Post Sean Kelly team. He's won a stage of the Tour of Britain as well, and he rides for now AG2R Le Mondial. He's a tough bike rider, really good time trialist. As we look down now on the peloton, and it is the Dutch team and also the Germans who are keeping everything in control. Sweetsoff asks for a bottle, which he takes with professional ease. Look at that. Phinney, Sweetsoff, Bovan, the three leaders as they go through the feed again. The tempo very, very high now. And Bovan taking a little drink on board, just trying to keep the body nice and topped up. As Frankie said, in the last 30 miles, your body will start to react in different ways when you are this tired. Bagdonas has just finished the Vuelta a España. It has been interesting the way we've seen little groups of riders going off the front all of the time in today's race. We had that early breakaway, but now as things stand, a trio of riders, and the gap now goes out to 1 minute and 25 seconds. Quite a similar pattern to what happened yesterday in the women's race, where we saw that group of riders go clear. They got over a minute with a couple of laps to go, and we're seeing similar things happening right now. But Bagdonas is giving this an awful lot of throttle to try and get to the front of the race. Don't know what his time gap is right now. As soon as I hear it, I'll let you know. Downhill then with Bovan in the super tough pedalling action, as Frankie said when he came into the commentary box. Taylor Phinney right on the wheel, Sweetsoff looking good. Bagdonas now starting to build his advantage on the peloton. The big question is, can he get to the front of the race?
very much. So we'll get up this plan for the moment.
Huge crash on the left-hand side of the road.
Try for the fourth position at the front right.
And a massive crash with loads of riders going down in this feeding area. Team Sky's Nordic is down. There was one rider who really crashed pretty heavily, but everyone looks like they're up again. There's one bike left on the deck. I'm just looking to see Nordic now, just looking at his bike. Let's take a look. As they went through, one rider hit the deck as he went in the feed, and then suddenly everyone crashed on the left-hand side. One of the Polish riders, I think, was Rafał Majka. And Majka was the second rider to hit the deck. I think it was one of the riders on the right-hand side who just everyone piled in there. And it was Viti, the Spaniard, who was the last rider to be held up there. The Guatemalan rider, number 188, is Manuel Rodas. He's going to take a little bit of time to get going. So it looked to me like either someone missed a bottle or something and took their foot out and then suddenly hit the deck, but all sorts of carnage, which again is going to help this three-rider breakaway. Sweets off, Bovan and Taylor Phinney still in the lead of this World Championship with 54 kilometres of racing to go. Zdeněk Stybar has been the World Cyclocross Champion. He was second in Paris-Roubaix this year on the cobbles. He was second in E3 Harelbeke. He won the Strade Bianche, always on tough surfaces. Strade Bianche is a race on the white Tuscan roads, the gravel roads. So he's a rider who loves to be on the cobbled races. He also won a stage of the Tour de France this year. He's had a fantastic season. This race is starting to come back together as we get to the conclusion of these World Championships. Inside the final 40 kilometres, we are in the finale of this year's race. Inside 40 kilometres to go. On the front of the peloton, still Robert Hessing and Roman Kreuziger continue with their work rate to try and bring the race back together. Tony Martin just tracking things a little bit. They'll be looking after the interests of predominantly Andre Greipel. They want this to be a bunch sprint. You wonder whether that's possible, but they also would also be able to play the card of John Degenkolb, who wears number 78. Degenkolb, winner of Milano Sanremo this season. He's looking now to bring home the victory for Germany. Just heard from Alex Dowsett. Said it was pretty hard out there. He is retired from today's race. He had to bring back the big split for the rest of the British riders, and he said it cooked him. So he's now able to just recover and relax a little bit. The rain has gone off, the sun has come back out. So it looks like we may well stay dry by the looks of things until the end of this race, which would be stunning news if that does happen. Looking down on a diminished peloton, as you can see, similar to the women's race yesterday, things are just going the peloton getting smaller and smaller with riders going out of the back of the race. The three leaders are just there in front to the right-hand side, and suddenly Denmark come to the front. Well, this is a big move from the Danish team. They're looking very, very strong, aren't they? Look at this, the entire Danish team. Chris Juul Jensen on the front of the race. He's an Irish-Danish rider. When you meet him, you think he's going to be Danish, and then you talk to him and he's got a full-fledged Irish accent. But he has dual nationality, and he chose to ride for the Danish squad. So Chris Juul Jensen on the front of the peloton right now. In their team, Lars Bak, Rasmus Goldhammer, Matti Breschel we've mentioned. They're looking to set things up now. Michael Morkov, Michael Volgren Andersen, that's the team of Denmark as we make our way up towards the climb yet again. These riders going along the banks of the James River, closing in now on the three leaders. It looks like they're going to be caught. So Taylor Phinney, Sweetsoft and Bourvan, their time in the lead is about to come to an end with the momentum of this Danish team, who look like they are really motoring on the front of the race. Chris Juul Jensen will ride for the Australian Orica Green Edge team next season, and this is closing up very fast. We go underneath the railway tracks, and suddenly this gap, which went out to over a minute, is about to be closed. And as we hit Libby Hill, this race is all going to come back together. I think we're going to see some fireworks now. The British team moving up on the left-hand side of the screen. Take a look there. They have Ben Swift on the wheel. That is on the front now. Stannard is up there. They're going to shut things off. Luke Rowe is the first rider onto the cobbles. They've put him in a perfect position. It looks like Stannard and Swift are going to kick things on over the top of this climb this time. And Swift, of course, has finished 12th in these World Championships last year. We've heard from Great Britain that they are kind of running a loose plan along the sort of lines of Swift going for the sprint. These two riders lead up the climb this time. Near the front also, one of the French riders. And Denmark, they tried to take control, but it didn't really work, as Stannard and Swift with Kwiatkowski on their wheel. Next year will be a teammate of theirs. Boonen is there, Martin is there. The Dutch team with Bauke Mollema, he is up towards the front. Rui Costa also there. Bouhanni is still near the front of this race. We haven't mentioned Peter Sagan yet. Sagan just hiding somewhere in this peloton. So is Matthews. And a couple of British riders going out the back. Stephen Cummings is still there. Luke Rowe has given everything he can. Yuri Sagan disappears out of the back as they go over the top of the climb, and it is Ben Swift who leads. He takes a bottle. Kwiatkowski still looks as cool as a cucumber as he sits up and takes a drink. He's now taking on a bottle. And it looks like he's going to completely check him, do it up. He must have been a little bit loose. Swift is the leader of this race. Suddenly, with 35 kilometres to go, there's a changing of the guard at the front of this World Championship. Well, thank you to all of you for joining me at Ant McCrossan, is where you can give me your final predictions as we head in towards the finish. Can Elia Viviani win? I think this is perfect for Viviani, of course. 6.8 kilos. Daryl Irvine, does it include the weight of the dates back under the saddle? I doubt it. I wouldn't have thought so. And Mikkel Mikazi, Geraint Thomas would have been perfect for this course. He would. Now the attack. And the attack comes from Great Britain. This is Ian Stannard. Stannard, the winner of Omloop Het Nieuwsblad on 2 occasions. He decides to go it alone. Robert Hessink is trying to go with him. Stannard has outwitted Etex Quickstep on a number of occasions. Boonen recognises that this is a big moment in this race. Stannard doesn't want this to come to a bunch sprint, so he is making a move. Sam Bennett of Ireland is still there. Looking on further back, who else is still there? Scott Thwaites is still there for Britain, but over the top of the climb this time goes Ian Stannard of Great Britain as he tries now to extend his advantage. He's one of the fastest descenders in the world. Robert Hessink has sensed the danger. He's going to try and go with Stannard. The big question now is, will Hessink and Stannard work together? Hessink has done an incredible amount of work in this World Championship so far for this Dutch squad, but he's taken the opportunity to go with him. Look how quick they are going downhill from the helicopter. 34 kilometers to go. Stannard goes whacking through that corner. Tom Boonen is there as well for the Belgian squad. Everyone is sensing that this is a big, big move, and Stannard is just time trialing away from the rest of this field right now. He takes a bottle, he gets rid of it to a fan at the side of the road. And Stannard goes through the right-hander yet again. He obviously feels very, very good. So this is an enterprising move by Ian Stannard of Great Britain, maybe motivated by the move of Lizzie Armistead in the finish yesterday. They're heading through Schokkel bottom now. Stannard has pulled away a group of riders. Tom Boonen is looking around to see what the makeup of the group is. Stannard looks to see what is going on. I'm pretty sure Sagan has just made it onto the back of the group. Just taking a look here to see what has happened. No, here comes the attack, and it's one of the Dutch riders who is making a big, big move, having Stannard been the rider to go away. A massive attack at the front of this race now. And the Dutch are starting to... Bauke Mollema has now gone. It was Bauke Mollema, sorry, not Robert Hessink who made that move. So Mollema has used it as a springboard. Bauke Mollema has gone on the attack for the Dutch squad. He's right on form right now. He is trying to prize this breakaway off the front of the race. Next time round we have 2 laps to go as we make our way up at Governors. One of the Spanish riders is just behind him, looking to see who that is. It's Rodriguez. Well, it might, it could be Moreno actually. Kwiatkowski has made it. And Viviani is also here. The makeup of the group then. Boonen, Viviani, Stannard. Also in here is Moreno of Spain. Moreno has made it into that front group. This is a really dangerous move. Kwiatkowski has also made the move. Here we are on the front. Bauke Mollema, Kwiatkowski, Tom Boonen, Moreno, Stannard, Viviani, and on the back of the group looks to me like Andre Amador of Costa Rica. These riders are going clear. They really need to work together now to try and build the advantage. Kwiatkowski looking around. Is he surely going to work here? Moreno goes to the front. His job will be to track this breakaway. Bauke Mollema, 2 laps of this World Championship to go. Tom Boonen is joining up with a classic specialist in Stannard. Viviani is where he wants to go. This is a perfect move, if indeed they all decide to work together. 2 laps of racing to go. Mollema, Boonen, Viviani, Stannard, Amador, Moreno and Kwiatkowski are the leaders of this World Championship. This is ignited, and look at the gap. The Australians have missed this, so have the Germans, and so Germany now get on the front. It is 18 seconds. What a move by Stannard to prize this off the front. It was Swift and Stannard who did the old 1-2. Swift took Stannard into the base of the climb, and then Stannard kicked on over the top. Andre Amador looking for a bottle. Kwiatkowski managed to just duck under that musette then. It was Moreno who led through the feeding zone. Kwiatkowski looks a little bit too cool. He doesn't look like he is kicking on too much. I wonder what the plan is here for the Polish squad. Kwiatkowski is soft pedaling a little bit. Surely this is the time to give this full throttle. Bauke Mollema goes to the front. Boonen is asking, are you going to work or are you not going to work? Stannard third in the line. Viviani has been on tremendous form this season for Italy. Kwiatkowski sitting on the wheels. He just looks far too easy, doesn't he? This is an incredible move at the front of these World Championships. Tom Boonen has been the world champion previously. There's a little bit of panic going on. 32 seconds now. The advantage. Seberg leads Andre Greipel to try and bring this race back together. It all comes down to Germany to do the chasing. 32 seconds. They'll start to get some real motivation soon. They'll be away from these wide roads and into the narrower downhill section. Stannard was the rider who started this breakaway. Stannard constantly taking as much drink as he can. He wants another bottle, so he moves over. His teammate on Team Sky, Viviani, lets him do that. Stannard desperately needed that bottle. He does take it. Andre Amador grabs it. You can see the speed these riders are moving at. Amador looking down to get rid of one bottle. Moreno needs a bottle, but he misses it. He wanted one from the United States of America. Behind there, we go back to the front of the peloton. 28 seconds is the advantage. The American squad have totally missed this. They have combining now with the Australians and the Germans. It could be that there are too many teams trying to chase. Well, normally the rule of thumb is if you've got 7 riders at the front, you need 8 riders chasing to bring this race back together. You'll notice how many Belgian riders at the front now. So the minute everyone peels off, the Belgian riders will no longer go through to the front. What a ride by Ben Swift to put Stannard into the point to make this huge attack. And maybe everyone was thinking that the move would happen on the final lap, but Stannard wanted it to go from a long, long way out. They're trying to build their advantage. Viviani goes through to the front in the Azzurri Blu of Italy. Boonen, look how urgent he is as he goes forward. He said to me the other day, this is the second flattest World Championships he's ever ridden, and you kind of got the sense that he felt that maybe this could be his year again. Viviani on the back of the group, shakes the legs a little bit, just trying to get a little bit more life in them, just trying to recover. He looks down. I'm sure his girlfriend Elena Cecchini right now will be jumping up and down, trying to get Viviani to go a little bit faster. She's the Italian champion. Viviani shakes his head, and maybe he's suffering a little bit. He's unable to go with this move, and maybe he's been told he can't. Viviani's sitting on the wheels right now as we go fast, fast downhill. Kwiatkowski into that aero tuck. Stannard just adjusting his back a little bit. 28 seconds, still the advantage. Stannard broke his back in a terrible crash. Luckily, he managed to recover, and he's now looking strong in this World Championship. Boonen at the front goes through. You can't get much stronger riders than this group of riders that we have. This is absolutely incredible. Bill Morse, all the World Championships use a circuit course. What they generally do is they start one place, come to another, and then do finishing circuits. So it's not unusual to be on a finishing circuit, although I would say the characteristics of this are a little bit different to that we've seen. Joshua David wants to see Peter Sagan win this world title. A lot of people do want to do it, but this breakaway group right now are holding their advantage as Stannard kicks on, going uphill. Bauke Mollema goes to the front. Danny Moreno of the Spanish team, so the Spaniards won't chase, the Dutch won't chase, the British won't chase, neither the Belgians or the Polish or the Italians, but Viviani has decided that he can't contribute to this breakaway group, so they are obviously riding for Vincenzo Nibali. It means he's got to sit on the back of the group right now, and these professional riders will totally understand it. 2 teammates from Etixx Quick-Step. Kwiatkowski looks at Boonen. They've ridden together so many times. There's the German powerhouses at the front. The Italians are coming forward. They want to block this one a little bit, even although Viviani is using the excuse of Nibali to sit in there. The Belgians are trying to disrupt this a little bit more. I'm just looking to see if that's still Ben King near the front of the race for the United States of America. If it is, it's an incredible ride by him. He was at the front earlier. The Dutch now arriving. They're trying to block things off a little bit. So some team tactics are happening. The Italians are disrupting it. The Dutch are disrupting it. They're trying to drive. What they'll try and do here, just to explain, the Belgians, the Italians and the Dutch will try and drive into the bottom of the climb, and then they'll try and slow up over Libby Hill to then let this group go away, because the Dutch have been riding for Bauke Mollema all day today. And you'll notice here that's exactly what they're going to do, and the Belgians are going to do exactly the same. They're going to drive into the bottom of the climb. It'll let the gap come down a little bit, and then they'll slow up and ride tempo over the top of Libby Hill, which will then put the leading group further ahead, and we might see this gap go out to a minute if indeed that is what happens. The Australians sense that. So the Australian team go to the front. They don't want this to happen. And the Italians and the Belgians, you could see there the little nudge, and it was Kinziato who just said to the rider alongside him, the Belgian rider, come up, let's block the road. We know this is good for us. Robert Hessink comes forward now for the Dutch team, and they can use the fact that this gap is growing to their advantage, and Boonen looks very, very strong to me today. 27 seconds is the advantage, so it's stabilised. Kwiatkowski is having to work hard here. Stannard on the front now as he goes through. They are using each other's slipstream and the power of each individual rider to just try and keep the momentum going. They've stayed away for one lap now of this circuit. The attack went on Libby Hill. Let's see whether the Belgians, the Dutch and the Italians are on the front of the peloton when they come onto Libby Hill. The motorbikes come round the corner. They are not far behind, really, in real terms. Boonen is going to put him into a gear that means he can really kick on up the climb. There's the peloton. This race is coming back together. But now it comes down to whether the Belgians can now use their form to good effect. Boonen goes onto the climb. Kwiatkowski measures him. Stannard is still there. He is able to ride these cobbles at a good tempo. Boonen looks like he's got slightly tired legs, but he goes formidably to the right-hand side of this race, and we'll see whether the Belgian team are on the front of this race right now. They are. Look at this. The Belgians, sorry, this is the lead group. Which group is just behind? We'll see who is doing the chasing. And it looks like we've got a little bit of a stretch happening as Tom Boonen, Kwiatkowski, Stannard, Viviani and Bauke Mollema, Danny Moreno. This race isn't over yet because the peloton is coming back. 15 seconds the advantage. It is closing up so fast now. And it is Marco Haller who kicks on over the top of the climb. The French are also represented well, so are the Italians. Looking to see where the likes of Peter Sagan are, because I've not seen Sagan all of this race. Next time round, the peloton are going to get one lap to go. Greipel is hanging on at the back. Stephen Cummings is still there for Great Britain. He's seen his teammate Stannard go on the move. Now these riders are going to plunge downhill to the bottom of 23rd Street to set themselves up for the finish. Right on Twitter, at Ant McCrossan, who is going to win this world title? It looks like the breakaway might well be reeled in before we get to the finish line yet again. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're about to be caught. Kwiatkowski goes fast through that left-hander. It is a much bigger group now. He's done an awful lot of work. He may well have tired himself a little bit. A few more riders have raced across to this front group. In fact, I think we're going to see a swelling of this leading group. We're just hearing a few riders racing across. Let's see. I think we've got 13 riders now in this leading group. And I'm just taking a look to see who has made it. John Degenkolb, I think, has made the front group. That's going to mean the Germans will no longer chase. Kwiatkowski, Amador, Viviani, Stannard, Moreno, Boonen. Degenkolb is now in there for Germany. Van Avermaet, Marco Haller desperately trying to get himself across to make it 14 riders in the leading group. I don't see Peter Sagan there yet. We've still got this leading group. 4 riders powered their way across. Andre Greipel on Radio Tour has just been dropped. Alexander Kristoff makes the front of the race now. All the big names are here. Just taking a look at this front race. Greipel now, his legs have given out. The gorilla did us so much work to get Degenkolb to the front group. 18 kilometres to go. Race is over for Greipel. Only 18 kilometres remain in this World Championship. I think we've got 13 or 14 riders in the leading group, being led by one of the French riders. I haven't quite seen who that is. Stannard is still there. One Italian rider also made it across to this front group. I'm wondering if it was Vincenzo Nibali. We'll take a look down in a moment and see who it is. It might have been Trontin, actually, who might have got himself there too. This is shaping up to be some finish to this World Championship. Stannard looks around, Bonin is still there, 14 riders, another few riders make the front split now. And you can see a definite split as we go through Choco Bottom. Who is going to win this world title? Viviani leads, coming through now, Van Avermaet. Let's take a look at the front of this race, though. It's all coming back together. At the front of the race, then, Dumoulin has made it. Rui Costa just jumping across. Degenkolb is there. Tony Galopin is the French rider. Sam Bennett of Ireland desperately trying to get onto the wheels as they make their way across the top of Governors. This time round, there'll be 1 lap to go. Kwiatkowski is there. It wasn't Christoph, sorry, it was Edvald Bosenhagen. Bosenhagen is in this front group now. Philippe Gilbert is also there. Just having a look to see who else is in this front group as they all swing across the road. This is proving to be a thrilling finish to this year's race. What a finish. And now we see another attack going on as these riders try and go clear. Still Bauke Mollema. Tom Dumoulin has reached the front of the race in 3rd place. This time round, we have got 1 lap of racing to go. Tom Dumoulin goes on the attack on the right-hand side of the road. The rider who rode so well in the Vuelta a España, Bauke Mollema, tries to set things up. And it is now, with 1 lap to go, Tom Dumoulin who leads this World Championship road race. As this starts to split up a little bit. Just on his wheel, one rider desperately trying to get across, and that is Kuznetsov. Dumoulin then is the leader of this World Championship, with Kuznetsov is the Russian rider who is immediately onto his wheel. Dumoulin has obviously recovered from that injury. 2 riders going clear. Just behind them then, the immediate counter-attacks as riders try to come up to these 2 leaders. Dumoulin has pressed on very, very early. Coming across now. Looks like one of the Estonian riders who is trying to shut the gap. The Stoian Stannard is still there. It is going to be some finish. Tony Galopin of France is also near the front of this race. Well, 15.5 kilometres to go. Who is going to be the winner of this World Championship? Kuznetsov flicks his elbow, asks Dumoulin in the orange to come through. Rui Costa now is the rider who's coming across to these leaders. Rui Costa was the world champion in 2013, and now Rui Costa arrives at the front of this race. He looks around to see what is going on. Behind him, that's certainly a big group of riders who have been dropped by this big acceleration. And now 2 riders are going clear. Dumoulin doesn't like that combination. One of the Estonian riders trying to shut the gap on the rest of the riders right now. fourth. This is some finish to a bike race. A big move now at the front from one of the Portuguese riders. This is Nelson Oliveira, I think, who's just making a move. Looking around to see what's happening. Andre Amador wants to go with this one. So Amador trying to track this one back. This race isn't over yet. And it looks like Nelson Oliveira, the rider at the front. Amador trying to come across to him. Amador is the Costa Rican rider in second place in this wheel. 14 kilometers to go. This race is starting to warm up as we head in towards the conclusion of this World Championship. Who is going to take it? Peter Sagan is that, who's just arrived at the front. I can't quite see through the camera shot. So Amador, one of the Russian riders actually, who's just made it. Could be Pavel Brut, who has just made the front of the race. Sorry for the picture breakup. And I think it could be Rein Taaramäe, who is the rider from Estonia, who has just made the front of the race, the winner of the Arctic race just a few weeks ago. Rein Taaramäe, the winner of the Vuelta a Burgos. Pretty sure it's Oliveira, Amador, Rein Taaramäe, maybe Pavel Brut, and one Belgian rider at the back. It could be Philip Gilbert, but I'm just taking a look here to see which of them it is. Tiesj Benoot has also been up there for the Belgian team over the run into this next point in the race. 14 kilometers of racing remain. It is Pavel Brut. Four seconds the advantage for this leading group. And it is at the front, Rein Taaramäe looking around to see whether he gets any assistance. Amador's coming through, but as you can see, the peloton led by the blue of the Italians is trying to bring this race back together. Rachel Heels just messaged me to say she would think Ian Stannard could be the winner. Kristoff I haven't seen for a little while, but that doesn't mean he's not here. Edvald Bosenhagen is certainly here for Norway. Thank you to all of you who have joined me for this World Championship. We are into the last lap. 12.8 kilometers remain as the leaders go round the corner. Richmond has welcomed the world of cycling here, and we have seen an absolutely incredible World Championship as the race comes back together. Now another attack starts to happen. It's a Belarusian, it's Vasyl Kirienka, I think, who is trying to... Sorry, these three riders are still clear. Pavel Brut, Rein Taaramäe and Andre Amador, Nelson Oliveira, the three riders in the lead. Oliveira, Rein Taaramäe, Pavel Brut. The race coming back together though. The Italian riders are closing this one up. They want to put Nibali in with a chance of going on the attack up that final climb of Governor Street. If he is still there, I'm pretty sure he is. They've got so many cards to play. Look at the Danish riders, and the Norwegians are also massing, ready for the final run into the conclusion of this World Championship. I think I could see one South African rider in here. Peloton Groupe. The race is all together now as we head towards the end of this race. Sam Bennett of Ireland is still in this peloton. It's a big group of riders. Are we going to see the same as we've seen in the other races, with the likes of Kevin Ledamois racing away over the top of the climb the final time to hold on to the finish line? It is going to take a rider who's prepared to lose to win this race, as Frankie Andreu said to us earlier on. Our guest today, thank you to Brian Cookson, thank you to Frankie Andreu, to Rachel Heel, who joined me in the commentary box to just talk a little bit about the race. At the front now, it is the team of Italy who have control. Behind Italy, it's Sweetsov of Belarus, as he looks to try and bring Kirienka through, possibly to win this race. The Australians are massing. They've got Michael Matthews, the Australians, and also Simon Gerrans. They bring Gerrans and Matthews to the front of the race. What a move by Australia. They're in the white, green and yellow. This race is coming to its conclusion. In just a moment, we will have 10 kilometres to go, but Italy now have full control of the front of this peloton. The blue of Italy, they've ridden a different race this time. Normally they take it on far too early, but this year they've decided not to. As they all look around at each other, Nibali is still there. On the front is Manuel Cinziato. Behind Cinziato, another move now, and it goes. It's Kirienka. Vasyl Kirienka, the world time trial champion, decides now that it's time to make his move as he goes clear. They don't want to let him go. One of the American riders, I think it is, who is jumping across to Vasyl Kirienka. What a move by the Belarusian rider. Big move. In fact, it is at the front. Sweetsov who's gone again for Belarus. And Sweetsov now opening up the advantage. It looked like Kirienka had decided to go, but it's Sweetsov who's now, I don't know where he's getting the energy from today. Sweetsov has been constantly on the attack. The Italians still seem to have this under control right now. They don't seem to be worried. They're going to close this one up. Turning left now. This race is setting itself up now for its conclusion. It has been one of those races. This is a big move at the front. And it's Tyler Farrar who is on the move now. I'm pretty sure Tyler Farrar and Sweetsov, the camera just not getting down there to see the faces of these riders, but to me it looks like the style of Tyler Farrar, the MTN Quebec rider. So confirmed then that it is Sweetsov and Tyler Farrar. I can see here Tyler Farrar riding for the MTN Quebec team, the American rider going clear with Sweetsov, who's already been on the attack a couple of times today. But Tyler Farrar trying to make the move now. We don't see Tyler Farrar race like this normally. He has been a rider who always waits for the sprint, but let's not forget, Tyler Farrar has won some pretty big major bike races in his career. He's won stages of every one of the 3 Grand Tours, the Giro d'Italia, the Tour de France and the Vuelta a España, but he's also won some one-day classic bike races. I saw him a few days ago. He looked very lean and ready for this World Championship. Tyler Farrar now on the front of the race, delighting the American fans. Sweetsov is going to go through. These two are just giving it absolutely everything they can to stay away. They have got, over 250 kilometres in those legs, and still they are motoring. Farrar riding for this African squad of MTN Quebec this season as they go left now. Fast downhill, 8 seconds is their advantage on Radio Tour. Sweetsov and Farrar combining at the front. This is a perfect combination for these two riders because Sweetsov, 9 seconds now. They're getting up towards the 10-second mark. It's looking like it is going to be a fantastic run in to the finish line. Tyler Farrar with that little ponytail at the back as he tries to power his way through to try and keep this breakaway going. 8 kilometres of racing to go. Sweetsov has been a real powerhouse in this race so far. He was in that big group on the attack earlier on today, but now he's combining with the American rider Tyler Farrar. 10 seconds now the advantage. Have they outwitted the rest of this peloton? Farrar can definitely climb. He loves the cobbles. Tyler Farrar is a rider who has lived most of his time in Belgium. He has lived there for a long time. He recently moved back to the United States of America. He will ride for the MTN Quebec team next year, which will be the Dimension Data squad. He's won 3 stages of the Vuelta a España, twice won stages of the Giro d'Italia. He's won Skelder Prize, which is another one-day classic bike race. He's won a stage of the Tour de France. He's won 3 stages of the Eneco Tour as well. We haven't really seen him race like this for a while because he was traditionally the sprinter of the Cannondale Garmin team. But unleashed now to try and go for this world title. 7 seconds. seconds now is the advantage as they make their way down to the banks of the James River. And now Farrar is trying to go it alone. He gets rid of Sweetsoft. He literally is riding Sweetsoft off his wheel as he looks around. He says, come on, come with me here. We need a little bit of assistance, but Farrar is so strong right now that he looks like he is, if he'd made the move at a perfect time, then he could be the race winner. 50 kilometers an hour as we go uphill past the railroad along the side of the river. Sweetsoft is constantly looking round. Farrar isn't 100% happy with the work rate of Sweetsoft, but let's bear in mind we are well over 250 kilometers of racing. The entire Italian squad now on the front of this race, trying to bring it back together, but it's not happening. Sweetsoft and Farrar still have their advantage. 8 seconds, and Sweetsoft is mouth wide open. He's in all sorts of hurt. Tyler Farrar and Sweetsoft, 5.8 kilometres to go. We look at a diminished peloton led by the Italian squad. They're trying to put Vincenzo Nibali in to win the world title after his disappointment in the Vuelta a España. They are doing a tremendous amount of work now to bring this race back together. Still Farrar and Sweetsoft just working each other to try and stay away, but you get the sense that it's not really going to happen. The American team really have produced a fantastic performance today with Taylor Phinney, with Ben King. Brent Bookwalter previously was in a little bit of the action. Tyler Farrar is there, but is one rider still left in here, and that's the young rider Lawson Craddock. Maybe they're just softening up for a result no one expects. Look at the blue of the Italians all on the front of this peloton. Now the Belgians also arrive. This race is going to come back together as we turn onto Libby Hill. The peloton is all together. Who is going to win this world title? There is a lot of riders in with a shout of winning this. Now another big attack, and Farrar goes yet again. He's refusing to give in. He's trying to break away. He's still got a load of strength in those legs. You could tell that when he was riding along the banks of the James River, that Farrar still had a little bit more to give, but the Italians hunt him down. So do the Belgian riders. Farrar shakes his head. The arrival of the Dutch team as they all look around. Dumoulin is still in the wheels. There are riders we haven't even mentioned today. Noticeably, just look about 5 wheels from the front. Nasser Bouhanni, the French sprinter, is now there. Bouhanni, can he win the world title? They are sprinting their way up towards Libby Hill this time. And this is going to be a fantastic run into the finish line. Another big move as the French come forward. They know they've got the numbers. Zdeněk Stybar, I think, is also there for the Czech Republic. Is the move going to happen now on this final climb of the day? The German riders move up as well. Everyone's sensing they don't want to let anyone sneak away. On this climb, the French are trying the same tactic they tried in the under-23 road race. Zdeněk Stybar now attacks. Immediately goes to the front. A big move. Immediately going with him is the German rider. It looked to me like it was John Degenkolb who was trying to go with Stybar. The Belgians are trying to shut the gap. Edvald Boasson, I think, is up there. Stybar is giving this full throttle now. Degenkolb gritting his teeth. Van Avermaet is also there. Edvald Boasson, the first 4 riders across the top. Stybar, Degenkolb, Van Avermaet. Also there is Edvald Boasson. Peter Sagan now arrives at the front of the race for the first time. Can he get himself onto the wheel? It's one long string of riders as they go over the top of Libby Hill for the final time. A huge crowd is waiting here at the finish line to bring these riders home. 3.7 kilometres to go. Stybar's attack hasn't worked. Now who's going to take the initiative? A big move on the right-hand side. It comes from the Dutch squad. John Degenkolb is prepared to go with this one. An immediate reaction from Stybar. Van Avermaet. Behind Van Avermaet is Edvald Boasson-Hagen. They're going to go fast downhill now and set themselves up for the climb of 23rd Street, where dreams are made and hopes are crashed. Thanks for all your messages today. Thanks to Tori Valentine, to Pat Fitzgerald, to everyone else who's just recently tweeted in. We are nearly at the end of this race, the end of a week of incredible racing here in Richmond. We hit 23rd Street now. One rider going on the attack, and it looks to me like one rider trying to make a move. This is Greg Van Avermaet. Van Avermaet, tracked by Peter Sagan. Sagan now goes on the attack. Peter Sagan trying to make his move. Van Avermaet is with him. Boasson-Hagen is still there. Degenkolb. Behind Degenkolb is Nasser Bouhanni. Stybar showing his teeth as they sprint uphill over the top of the climb, and Sagan has a little bit of a gap. He looks around. Van Avermaet. Peter Sagan gives this full throttle now. He goes into the aero tuck. Look at this, downhill, and he's in Frankie Andreu, as he said, the super tuck. He looks around now. He's trying to go away. Sagan is on his own. Can he win the world title? Sagan, look at the gap he's got as he goes into Schokol Bottom. Sagan leans the bike over, right on the limit right now. Peter Sagan has gone through